Hey everyone, welcome to Active and Connected Families. One aspect of my role as CEO of Active and Connected Family Therapy is that I have a really broad knowledge of all the struggles and triumphs that families in Virginia experience. I always say that when it's been a hard week in my house, our clinicians are going to notice it, an uptick in family stress across the state, and more people are going to start looking for therapists. And just knowing that and seeing those patterns always makes me feel less alone. It makes me feel more in community. It makes me feel a little less crazy. And so I want to share some of these ideas and some of this camaraderie with you all. Because right now, I know that we as a society and we as a community are at an inflection point around how we connect with people. There is a loneliness epidemic and a mental health crisis for kids and teens, parents and moms and dads. And it really feels like everyone right now. And I think thinking about how we connect with people through the holidays is really important because the traditions that I grew up with have changed a lot. And I know that they have changed a lot for a lot of people in our country. And I want to talk about it and address it and make sure that we as a society are holding on to the important traditions of holiday time because I think they're really going to be useful as we look towards our mental health in the future and our kids' mental health. Thank you so much for listening, y'all. I'm just excited to be here. The holiday season is in full swing, and for many of us, the season looks and feels different than it did when we were kids. Over 40 million Americans have stopped going to church in the last 25 years, meaning that communal Sundays full of singing and listening to prayer concerns and structured lessons focusing on forgiveness and giving aren't as consistent for us or for our children. And while many Americans have found other community organizations to replace the church, many also haven't. There is a very well documented loneliness epidemic occurring, and it's leading to our kids isolating themselves in their bedrooms. If you have a teenager, you might understand. Shortened lifespans, you all, and a myriad of mental health difficulties that we talk about all the time on this podcast. I always tell my kids that loneliness is the new smoking. And the absence of church is more palpable during the holidays when parents realize their kids know more of the words to All I Want for Christmas Is You than Silent Night, which, by the way, I got that line from my own personal experience. And the longing for community and the longing for organized religion is really important right now because it's the sense of tradition, the sense of love and belonging that we're looking for, and that is actually essential to our mental health. You all, there's a loneliness epidemic, and this feeling that we have about missing it is completely related to that. Whether we get our sense of belonging from a church, a temple, a synagogue, a pool community, school, a neighborhood, a sports team, family and friends, online, our hearts and minds truly do not care where we find that sense of belonging as long as we have one. And the unchurching has resulted in different ways in which we teach our children to lean into our communities. Schools, grocery stores, and other community organizations that we join are primary now in fostering our children's generosity, in fostering their commitment to others, and fostering their idea about how important it is to give. And these opportunities through grocery stores or schools are so reliant upon us as parents to grab onto, take energy out of, and just hold on tight because we want to teach our kids the importance of giving. And you all, the demands of the holiday season are intense for us parents. We're balancing parties, presents, kids' activities, end of year work deadlines, and even our own grief and sadness about the traditions and the people that we miss. I am tired and overwhelmed in mid December. After all, we are living in a society that promotes individualism over community. The cultural pressure that is in the ether is telling us to prioritize giving time and energy towards our own family stuff than giving our time and energy towards the stuff of other families who might need it a little bit more. And still, Americans' hearts are longing for belonging. We want the community. We want the connection. We want the large family. And we can feel the absences of this community the most around the holidays. And leaning into that longing and that ache and that miss, even if it's hard, is really important this year because it's telling us all to do something different to protect our mental health and our future, and also the mental health of our kids and our family. Our sense of community and our sense of belonging is directly related to our willingness to prioritize giving our time and energy to others. I'm going to say that again. Our sense of community and our sense of belonging is directly related to our willingness to prioritize giving our time and giving our energy to others. This tells us that we should dump some of our individualistic pursuits in favor of giving our time and energy towards someone else, even if it feels hard. So, keeping in mind the concept of community and how important it is to all of us right now, but also recognizing that you all have really intense demands at this time of year, I have a list of pretty easy ideas for how to kind of sidestep some of our individualistic social pressure rituals and think more easily about how can we give towards others. So the first one is to skip a day of school or commit a day during that 2-week break, specifically towards community service or finding a community service activity. So saying this Tuesday, we're going to do this as a family, kids. Number two, host an inclusive party or activity for your neighbors or your sports team and include your children in all of the preparations and maybe even the cost. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to get a group of people together to celebrate and have your kids help. Number three, make a game out of participating in every single drive that you see, such as the coat drive or the canned food drive, and make your kids keep your eyes out for it. You can look at Salvation Army bell ringers, food banks, whatever it is, but just say, we're going to do every single one that we see. Number four, put up holiday lights for a neighbor. They bring such joy to the neighbor and your community, and it's a great way to spend time with your kids. Thank you all so much for listening, friends. I hope you have a great holiday season. I'm thinking about all of you as my community, and I hope to see a lot of you out there. Have fun.